Hi everyone. Sorry that I couldn't be with you on Tuesday. Mrs. Bieber wasn't feeling well, and so I was trying to do my due diligence and stay at home when I wasn't feeling well. And so unfortunately, that led to Mrs. Bieber unexpectedly having to create some activities that weren't the most awesome. And I totally understand that. It's not the same as me teaching. When we got to the quick check, though, I realized that most of you didn't understand what you were being asked to do. And when almost all of you don't understand, I have totally realized that's a problem with me, not necessarily a problem with you, and a problem with mine making my directions not clear enough. So here on Thursday, this is the video that I want you to start with. If you have done some of the other activities already, that is okay, but you might want to go back and check those and check that work that you did, because hopefully you'll have some new understanding and you'll understand a little bit better what you are being asked to do here. So in this lesson this week, we're talking about place value, specifically the value of a number. Right? And so normally when in the past several years, when you've been asked to compare two values of a number, you're looking at which one's bigger, which one's smaller, and what's equal. That's not what we're asking you to do now in fifth grade. What we're actually asking you to do is looking at the value of the same digit. So take one digit, like 3, for example, and looking how the value of the 3 changes in different numbers based on where it's placed on a place value chart. So you can see that I have shared my screen here with you. And so let's take a look at this first one. So this first one right here, this number, this is the first time Mrs. Bieber is doing this, so it's going to take me a little getting used to too. This number here, the 3, has a value. The value of the 3 is in its ones place. So the value of the 3 is simply going to be, let's see if Mrs. Bieber can make this work, 3. Right here, and we haven't really gone into decimal places very much, but right here, that value of the 3 is 3/10 because it's after the decimal place. Now, when it's asking you to make a comparison statement, it's asking you, how does one of these 3s compare to the value of the other 3? Is it 10 times the amount, or is it 1/10 of the amount? So let's look at the first question right here. It says the value of the 3 in 783 and 97 hundredths is blank the value of the 3 in 6,529 and 34 hundredths. So again, we're looking at the 3. We're looking at the value of this 3 comparative to the value of this 3. And in this case, we're looking at the second digit. So we're looking at this first. And we're saying, which one of these two is smaller? Well, the 3/10 is smaller. And so in order to get to 3, I need to multiply, because I'm going bigger. So I'm going to multiply by 10. It is 10 times the value. And if I think about it, it kind of makes sense. This 3 right here is 10 times the value of the 3 in 3/10 because it is larger. It's actually 10 times larger. Let's look at the next comparison statement. It's saying this 3 is what compared to this one? Well, we need to think about it. We need to get smaller as we're looking at the regular at 3 compared to 3/10. We're getting smaller. So actually, this 3/10 is 1/10 of this 3. It's 1/10. So I would say times 1/10. Saying times 1/10 is the same exact thing as dividing by 10. They're the same. So we can put either divide by 10 or we can put times 1/10. Let's take a look at another example over here, number 2. So I'm looking at the 5. The first thing I'm going to do to help me out is I am going to write the value of the 5, the value of the underlying digit, above the number. So here, the value of the 5 is 500. And the value of the 5 in the second number is going to be 5,000. 5,000. So I know 5,000 is larger than 500. But let's look at the comparison statements. And this is what you are being asked to write in that quick check assignment that you had on Tuesday. And we'll look at that later. The value of the 5 in 546 and 3/10 is blank the value of the 5 in 5,000. Now think about it. 5 in 500 is smaller than the 5 in 5,000, so it's going to be less than, which means it's going to be 1/10 of the value of the 5 in 5,000. The 5 in 500 is 1/10 of the 5 in 5,000. That's because it's less. It's 1/10. I could divide 5,000 by 10 and I could get 500. We're moving to the right on the place value chart. So let's look at the next problem. The value of the 5 in 5,000 is blank the value of the 5 in 500. 5 in 5,000 is actually 10 times the value of the 5 in 500. And so I would write times 10. All of your activities today are going to look at the statements of comparison, looking at 5s and different digits and different place values, and you are going to have to think, where is this place value smaller? Is it 10 times the place value? Or is it 10 times the value of the other digit? Or is it 1/10 of the value of the other digit? No longer am I saying, is it equal to, is it greater than, is it less than? We can use those thoughts to make that comparison, but we're really using the statement, the value of the 5 or the value of this number is either 1/10 or 10 times the value of the digit in the second number. So again, we're going to look at number 1 of your quick check. And if I were you, I would take a pause and do not complete this quick check until after you are done doing all of the other follow-up activities and trying and checking your work and seeing if you're right or wrong, trying to wrap your head around this concept. This concept is not an easy concept. We talked about it on Monday. We talked about it on Tuesday a little bit. You should have watched a Khan Academy video about it, and you should have watched a different place value video about it. I will repost those for your rewatching. If you feel like you need to rewatch those, I will add those. Do not do your quick check until you make sure you have this concept down. And the reason is Ms. Bieber is going to take a grade from your quick check. And so I want to make sure you have a lot of practice before you get that done. Okay? So here is the first problem of your quick check, and you will do the other 3 on your own. It says, write 2 comparison statements to compare the values of the underlying digits in the numbers. So the underlying digits here in the numbers are 9. Okay, 9 is the digit. The first thing I'm going to do, and I highly recommend you do this as well, is you are going to write the value of the 9 in each of the problems. So the value of the 9 in the first number in 24,963 and 2/10 is 900. I look at the second number and I see that value of that 9, it's in the tens place. So the value of that 9 is going to be 90. And now I can compare the value of the 9 digits in the 2 numbers. And I might make my statement something like this. And this is what your statement should look like as well. They should say, the value of the 9 in the number 24,963 and 2/10 is blank the value of the 9 in the number 27,693 and 5/10. Then you can think about it for a minute. You You can say, okay, what is the value of the 9 in this number here? What is the value of the 9, if I highlight here? What is the value of the 9 in this number compared to the value of the 9 in this number? And I can look. The value of the 9 here is 900. It is 10 times bigger than the 9 in 90. Let me say that again. The value of the 9 in the number 24,963 and 2/10 is 10 times the value of the 9 in 90. So I would write that in to my comparison statement. I would write 10 times. Now the directions say write 2 comparison statements. So I'm not done yet. I need to write another statement. And it's going to be the opposite statement of the one that we just did. And I'm going to make this smaller so that we can see a little bit better. And we're doing the opposite statement. So I will write the value of the 9. Now, I first did the first number, so I'm now going to switch it. The value of the 9 in 27,693 and 5/10 is blank the value of the 9 in 24,963 and 2/10. Let's think about it. The value here of this 9, the value of the 9 in 90 is going to be smaller, so it's going to be 1/10 the value of the 9 in 900. 1/10. So I can say times 1/10. I could also say divided by 10. They are the same thing, but for this case, I'm going to say times 1/10. For your quick check in MBT 1, remember Mrs. Bieber is going to actually grade that. So do all of your practice up front. In this activity, I am first going to put links to the 2 videos that you saw so that you can re-look at those if you need to before I put the quick check. I want you to do the quick check response last. Do all of your practice first. Okay? I will see you on Monday.